For me, breastfeeding was something I always knew I wanted to do. I considered it a gift and something completely natural that a mother and child could share together. In my mind, it would be completely easy. It's something that women before me had been doing for thousands of years, and I shouldn't have any trouble mimicking it at home. I even romanticized the thought of breastfeeding my child, having that idea in my head where mother and baby would lovingly look upon each other as they nursed and having that magical bonding moment that only we could share together. I was wrong. Breastfeeding is very hard and there's many barriers that are faced. One of the first barriers I noticed when breastfeeding was within the first initial days of having my child. I didn't know where to turn to for education. I had a slew of questions running through my head when I first brought her home, such as, can she really be hungry again? How long does she nurse for? Am I making enough milk? How long can she go between nursing sessions? These questions left me feeling completely inadequate and insecure. And was even more frustrating was that I didn't know where to go to for help because I felt like I should have already known the answers. I was a mother. I should. It was intuition. My second barrier I faced was when going out in public. My husband and I had decided with our 5-month-old to make our first family outing to the zoo. It was supposed to be a fun-filled family day. I had even coincided her last nursing session at home to take place in the comfort and privacy of our own home. However, we got to the zoo and we spent about 2 hours there, and lo and behold, little baby girl was hungry. I tried finding a private area for her to nurse in and was unable to do so. I even tracked down a worker at the zoo and asked her if there was a place that nursing mothers could go to nurse their child in private, and was told there was no such location. So quickly, with a crying baby, I tried to find the most remote place to nurse her, sat down on the bench, pulled out my nursing cover, and tried to feed my baby. However, in the hot August sun, she was very reluctant to hide under my nursing cover and kept screaming and trying to bat it away. My fear of nursing her in public and what would people think if they were to see something they weren't supposed to see or think that it was taboo quickly caused me to give up on the whole experience of nursing her in public. And with my baby crying, my husband said we need to feed her, and we gave her her first bottle of formula, which she quickly sucked down, no problems, and we left the zoo. I remember crying our entire 30-minute drive home, feeling that I'd failed her as a mother for giving into formula. My third and final personal experience with a barrier with breastfeeding was when I returned to work after having my third child. It was a new position, so I was already feeling some anxiety there. And he was my last baby, so I felt a commitment to him personally to breastfeed him as long as possible. I knew that Michigan law protected my right to breastfeed my child in the workplace, and so I felt pretty ready on my first couple days. However, I was not expecting the feelings of how much time away from my desk was considered too long. I even had a fellow coworker roll her eyes at me when I told her I was going to step away to breastfeed when she questioned me, "You're going again?" These feelings were frustrating to me as a mother. I wanted to do what was best for my child, but how could I do what was best from her if it impacted my financial future as well? Even though my youngest now is 1.5 years old and I haven't breastfed him in months, these experiences still drum up feelings of frustration for me. These are just a small sampling of the many barriers that breastfeeding women face. The purpose of this research is to address these barriers for women in today's culture when they're trying to determine whether to breastfeed their child or not and for how long. Since every childbearing woman is faced with a choice to breastfeed or not, it's important to know what factors help shape their decision. It's also important to acknowledge what barriers deter women from continuing to breastfeed. If healthcare clinicians can help to break down these barriers, women may have a higher rate of success in continuing their long term breastfeeding choices.